Welcome everyone to today's Cultivating Success webinar. Today we have two guests talking about the Idaho State Department of Agriculture and resources available to support small farms and ranches in Idaho. This webinar is brought to you by Cultivating Success, which is a small farm and ranch education program established in 2000 by the University of Idaho, Washington State University, and the nonprofit organization Rural Roots. Today's webinar is the sixth in a series of webinars that were really designed to help you access the organizations that can support you in your farm and ranch journey. All of the sessions have been recorded and are available through the Cultivating Success website, along with the handouts and links that were shared during the webinar. So we really encourage you to go back and check out some of the other webinars. Also know that the slide sets for today are going to be posted and you'll have access to both the recording and the presentation slides. I'm Colette DePhelps, and myself and Kate Wood are going to provide some technical assistance. Your actual extension hosts for today's webinar are Rebecca Mills, who is an extension livestock, small farms, and 4-H educator in Gem and Boise counties, and Ariel Eggenbrode, who is an area extension educator focusing on food systems and small farms, and she is located in the Ada County office. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic over to Rebecca Mills, who's going to invite today's speakers.
Thanks, Colette. We're happy today to have representation from the Idaho State Department of Ag. So Kaylee Woods is going to start us off. She is the program manager for the Farm and Ranch Center, but she's also going to give us an overview of ISDA and just generally what ISDA is about and what they provide. And then also go into the Farm and Ranch Center and a program called FarmLink. And then to wrap up the day, we'll have Chelsea Conlon, who is a trade specialist, and she works with the Idaho Preferred program. Not only she'll talk to us about their domestic programs, but she also represents with their international programs, which is a pretty neat opportunity for a connection if any of you ever want to expand your business differently than you are now. So that's the order of the day. And then at the end, again, if you have questions, put them in the Q&A and we'll do those questions once we get to that point. Kaylee, it's all yours.
Alrighty, thank you, everybody. All right, so as they said, my name is Kaylee Woods. I am the program manager for the Farm and Ranch Center, but I'm going to go ahead and start with presenting on the Department of Agriculture just as a whole. Let me share my screen here. Feel free to stop me if anything looks kind of funky, okay?
Looks great.
Awesome, thank you. All right. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of jump in with just basically our mission statement, which is serving consumers and agriculture by safeguarding the public, plants, animals, environment through promotion, education, and regulation. So kind of a blanket statement, but that is our mission statement. Some history behind ISDA. We were created by legislature in 1919. We have kind of 3 tiers of purpose here. It's to protect Idaho crops and livestock from the introduction and spread of pests and diseases. We're also here to provide the industry with a system of orderly marketing, and then protecting consumers from contaminated products or fraudulent marketing practices. So the department derives its statute authority from multiple sections of the Idaho Code. So Section 22-101 creates the Department of Agriculture and the position of the director. Section 22-102 provides the director the director shall organize the department into such divisions and other administrative subunits as may be necessary in order to efficiently administer the department. And then Title 22 also contains the authority for plant industries, the Ag Resources Division, and the Department of Marketing Bureau. And the primary authority for the Animal Industry Division lies with Title 25 and Title 37, with the Agriculture Inspection Division, which includes weights and measures, and the warehouse. Sorry, I'm losing place on my notes here. So in addition to the 5 divisions that we have here at ISDA, we also have commodity groups or commodity commissions. The Idaho Honey Advertising Commission, the Idaho Hop Commission, the Idaho Mint Commission, and Idaho Sheep and Goat Health Board. And they're also technically housed within ISDA, although each entity maintains its autonomy. And the department works closely with all other agricultural commodity commissions as well. So the onion commissions, things like that. So the Idaho Food Quality Assurance Lab was assigned to the Idaho Legislature to the Department of Agriculture in July 1st of 2005. And then in addition, the Bureau of Labs was established within the agency to manage all 6 ISDA labs. All right, so I'm gonna kind of just do a quick overview of the different divisions. So starting with animal industries, the animal division is responsible for regulatory animal disease control and prevention. This is done through inspection of livestock and livestock facilities. Additionally, ISDA regulates the movement of animals through the state, as well as the nation and into international areas. This division includes the Dairy Bureau, the Animal Health Lab, the Confined Animal Feeding Operations Program, Cervidae, and Environmental Management. All right, the next division I will touch on is Ag Inspections. The Ag Inspection is responsible for inspecting commodities for quality and condition at the shipping point. So inspectors use official grade standards developed by USDA and also ISDA for fresh fruits and vegetables. ISDA has been serving the state's organic community since 1990, when the Idaho legislature passed the Organic Food Products Law. And in 2002, ISDA became one of the nation's first accredited certifying agencies. Today, we certify over 270 operations. Additionally, ISDA weights and measures inspectors ensure accuracy and stability of commercial weighing and measuring devices. So that's things like checking correct net contents, labeling of packages, investigating any kind of weighing device and making sure that it is accurate and up to date with its certifications. And then touching a little bit on the warehouse control program. So it is responsible for regulating public warehouses, commodity dealers, and seed buyer facilities. And Idaho's ag commodity warehouse and seed industries store and market a wide variety of commodities. And that includes things like wheat, barley, oats, dry beans, peas, lentils, all that kinds of stuff. Okay, moving on to plant industries. This program activities in the Division of Plant Industries include consumer protection through the registration and regulation of commercial feed and fertilizer, and also soil and plant amendments. We assist with the export of Idaho commodities through photosanitary certification and the grading of hops. We help with the protection of exotic pests and disease through trapping and field inspection, as well as eradication programs. We control outbreaks of Mormon crickets and grasshoppers affecting ag landowners. And also we are protecting consumers and horticultural production through licensing and inspection of nurseries. Man, I can't talk today. And then of course, just the prevention and control of noxious weeds and invasive species. Moving on to a little bit into the range management. They do tasks such as photo monitoring, which is a technique that documents changes in condition of land or vegetation in response to management and environmental factors. They also, the team reviews and interprets proposed projects that are related to and conducted on rangeland across Idaho. And ISDA works with various groups to assist in training range health awareness and collaborating with policy. All right, so ag resources. They're responsible for regulating the use and distribution of pesticides, registering pesticides as well, monitoring and ground surface water for pesticides, so making sure that obviously the water is not laced with pesticides, disposal of pesticides as well, and training pesticide trainers, things like that nature. And then other programs in ag resources include field services, of course, pesticide compliance, pesticide services, water program, and worker protection. So just ensuring that folks who are working with pesticides are being safe and protected. All right, and then the marketing division, Chelsea's going to touch on this, but I'll kind of just give a quick overview. So the marketing division supports the development of Idaho's ag industry by providing domestic and international marketing for support for Idaho farmers and ranchers and all food processors. So connecting Idaho producers with potential customers for Idaho food and ag products domestically and abroad. That just helps stimulate the economic development and generates sales and grows jobs throughout the state. The team also works to connect the Idaho companies with foreign buyers and partners through a variety of different export programs and initiatives. They also work to support and develop farmers markets, agritourism, and direct marketing opportunities throughout the state. So within the marketing division lies the Idaho Preferred program, and Idaho Preferred is a program designed to identify and promote food and ag products grown, raised, and processed in the GEM state. So this team works with farmers, ranchers, growers, and any kind of food and beverage processor to increase market share and opportunity for profitability. And that's through things like retail and food service partnerships, advertising, social media, special events and promotions, and farm to school programs. And then finally, the newest member of the marketing team, which is the Farm and Ranch Center. I'll cover that more, but essentially the Farm and Ranch Center was created in 2020 in response to requests and concerns and hopes brought to us by agriculture folks across the state. So the mission of this center is to collaborate with partners, including farmers and ranchers, to promote resources and organize efforts that'll help ranchers cultivate any kind of, a viable and resilient ag industry. Touch a little bit on labs. So the labs over here are pretty cool. Sorry, Siri's talking to me. So the animal health lab is one that I'll touch on first. Their primary objective has been to support veterinarians, livestock producers, the Department of Game and Fish, the Department of Health and Welfare, the Department of Ag, obviously, and animal, plant, and health inspection services throughout the state. So the dairy lab performs FDA testing of dairy products to assure that they're in compliance with grade A requirements. This lab also provides the accreditation of milk labs and analysts through an on-site evaluation and sampling and testing surveys. The seed lab offers germinization, purity, noxious weeds, cold and other special tests for over 200 different crops. The seed lab receives service seed samples from Idaho and 9 other Western states. So approximately 93% of service seed samples are received from Idaho seed companies. The feed and fertilizer lab is the regulatory lab that offers formal quality assurance testing for commercial feed, also for fertilizer and soil and plant amendments, just ensuring that there's truth in the labeling and any kind of detection of harmful material. The food quality assurance lab is a pesticide lab, and it opened in 1997 under the direction of the Idaho Food Quality Assurance Institute to support Idaho and national agriculture. And it offers formal third-party food quality and environmental testing to producers, government agencies, ag groups, processors, and consumers. And the plant pathology lab, again, provides disease testing of seeds, plants, and plant products for any kind of diagnostic purposes. And they also participate in surveys across the state for any kind of invasive regulated plant pathogens and pests. And then the metrology lab that focuses more on the weights and measures sides of things. So they're responsible for, through inspections, through ensuring accuracy and stability of commercial weighing and measuring device. They also do device licensing. So weighing and measuring devices used for commercial purposes are required to be licensed annually. So that is done here as well. So any person, they also work with weighmasters. So any person acting as a public weighmaster of grains, dry peas, potatoes, hay, all of those are required to follow the weighmaster statute. And then registered servicemen, those are individuals who install, service, or repair commercial scales. They may voluntarily apply to become a registered serviceman in Idaho. So that's kind of just a quick overview of our labs. So in addition to the 5 divisions, ISDA has a fantastic administrative and HR team. It's a fantastic place to work. Everybody is super passionate about agriculture and just want to be here to help, and we're happy to answer any kind of questions. I encourage you to check out the website here. It's got an excellent directory, and they'll kind of point you in the right direction. So that is it for ISDA. Okay. Should I just go right into Farm and Ranch Center?
I think so. I don't see that there's any questions yet in the chat. I think that was a really great overview. Thank you, Kaylee. There's things I didn't know about the different things and all the different components. So
Sure. No problem.
if any of our guests do have questions, a reminder, you can put them in the Q&A box and we'll take care of those. But yeah, go ahead and roll right into your next.
Will do. Just looking for my little Zoom box. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Everything look good on that end?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you guys have already met me, obviously, so I won't go too much into myself, other than the fact that I did start this position in November. So I'm new to the position, but working hard to make sure that it becomes a good program, and that I'm hearing pretty much any kind of feedback from folks. So one thing that I do encourage is to have anybody call me that has suggestions, that has concerns having to do with Farm and Ranch Center, and I'm super happy to hear any kind of feedback so we can grow this program. So I will move on. All right. So again, we started in 2020, and that was in response to concerns, requests, and hopes by agriculturalists throughout the state. So it started with an advisory council, and that included farmers, ranchers, legislatures, college leaders, bankers, and university extension professionals all came together to keep the program connected to current issues and concerns, and just make sure that we are serving everybody the way that we would like to. So our vision is we just envision a future for Idaho ag where farmers and ranchers have the skills in transition planning, understanding finances and community, so that they can be successful. And we want to collaborate with partners to promote resources and organize efforts to help farmers and ranchers cultivate that viable resilience in the ag industry. So one thing that I do want to say, a caveat to this, the Farm and Ranch Center employees are not subject experts. The program acts more like a liaison or middleman to connect Idaho farmers and ranchers with the appropriate individuals or resources and trainings to help them with the skills and things such as transition planning, financial help, and then things like mental health. So again, just we are not subject experts, but we're here to connect you to the right folks. All right, so a quick summary of what we offer. So we have our main pillars, which include financial resources, stress management, succession and transition planning, and then resources for new and beginning farmers. So all of those resources on our website include general program information, financial assistance, and education and training. So each of those has a subcategory. One thing that I want to emphasize is the farm stress pillar. We offer resources on why mental health is important, especially in agriculture. Understanding stress management and seeking help. One of my favorite parts of the website is the videos and podcasts and printable resources. To me, I think it's a lot easier to observe a video, hear somebody's story rather than having to read too much. So that's definitely one that we are going to be capitalizing on. I will say that we will eventually be redoing our website, so things might change here soon, but just for now, it's a pretty good place to start. And then our transition and succession planning. So that is broken down into 3 sections, obviously succession planning, but we also go into estate planning and managing a family business. So offering resources for all of those. So I'll get a little bit more into what we offer regarding financial resources. So for new and beginning farmers, you'll be able to find resources related to access to capital, to loans and financial planning. When it comes to financial management, on this page, you'll be able to find things such as budgets, tax planning, marketing, things like that. For veterans, we offer things such as resources for loans, mentorship and education, and sometimes even training and work opportunities through different resources that are listed on our website. And then for disabled farmers and ranchers, there's resources for adaptive practices, financial assistance, rehab, treatment, and more. So again, these are all just resources because we're acting as a middleman. So I did want to highlight one of our listed resources here. This is farmanswers.org. It's a website clearinghouse where farmers and ranchers can find online courses and videos and presentations and other materials just to answer farming and ranching questions. So this is a screenshot of the library tab where the different farm answers categories are linked. So as you can see, Farm Answers covers a broad range of topics, including business management, marketing, production, taxes, and legal. So that one's an excellent resource. And then also I would like to point out that U of I definitely has some resources linked on our websites as well. They have, of course, as you know, excellent resources. Okay, going into the New Beginning in Farmers pillar. So we obviously want to expand Idaho Ag. So the USDA defines a new young rancher as someone who is less than 35 years of age and less than 10 years of operational experience. So unfortunately, various factors among each generation can become too challenging and could lead to the next generation and new farmers and ranchers stepping away from ag business just with all the challenges. So we offer resources related to accessing things like capital, financial planning, all that. So some awesome resources there. Again, Farm Answers is a fantastic resource listed on our website. This is a great place for those who are starting. I definitely recommend this one. Excuse me. There's also a few screenshots from beginningfarmers.org. I was taking some time looking through this the other day and I definitely got lost just with all the resources, how fantastic it is, everything that they offer. So Beginning Farmers offers information on how to start a farm, planning a new farm, funding resources, and finding land to start your farm on. And they cover all areas of farming from raising livestock to plant production and urban farms and business farming. They regularly post internships and employment opportunities as well if you're looking to dip your toes into farming and get some mentoring on all aspects before actually starting your ag business. So this is linked on our website as well. All right, as I said before, another focus of the Farm and Ranch Center is the farm stress and mental health. Since I have started this position, I've had the honor of talking to folks, having them reach out to me to tell me their stories of struggles. While I cannot offer professional mental health advice, we have compiled a ton of resources, hoping to do a couple more events this year, focusing mainly on farm stress, because the more that we talk about it, the more we're realizing how important it is to talk about it, as well as bring resources. So, but this is definitely one that we are wanting to expand on. So we offer resources such as printable materials. That's what you'll see over here. And videos and podcasts that provide tools for managing stress and starting the conversation regarding mental health. As I kind of mentioned before, we are planning another event this year that focuses on farm stress and mental health as a way to bring folks together and provide tools and just have those tough conversations, right? Talk to your neighbor. So if you or someone you know is dealing with farm stress, we encourage you to check out the resources offered on our website. One of the goals of the Farm and Ranch Center is to break the stigma around talking about mental health. So we encourage people, particularly those who work in ag, to seek help and not carry the burden of stress all on their own. Again, just a caveat, but I would like to remind everyone that our team are not mental health professionals and cannot offer medical advice. We are just happy to offer a listening ear and share resources to educate folks on managing stress as well as mental health for themselves and for their loved ones and their neighbors. All right, moving on to transition and succession planning. So we actually offer our own succession planning course. So this is a 28 lessons divided into 3 phases. It's all self-paced learning. So it includes interactive learning such as surveys and videos, and just deeper learning opportunities for third-party sources. Most lessons have other resources or documents that learners can download or open to learn more about each step. And we also offer resources regarding estate planning. So resources for getting started in the process, as well as resources and tools for transferring your farm. We also have listed some excellent contacts such as Farm Bureau, U of I. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. And I will mention that the succession planning course is now a PDF that you should be able to download and complete off of the website. Finally, we have our resources for veterans in ag. We offer general resources such as links to the Idaho chapter of Farmer Veteran Coalition and the Idaho Division of Veteran Services, as well as educational engagement and employment opportunities through programs such as Mission 43. We have also linked various financial assistance resources such as USDA Veteran Resource and Services, the Farm Service Association, and Ag Credit to Ag Start program. And then finally, we link some education and training opportunities through programs such as Growing Veterans, who offer wonderful support programs through peer support or mental health programs as well. Okay, I'm going to touch a little bit on our FarmLink tool. I will have to say this is something that may change a little bit within the next year or two, but basically what we're doing at this moment is surveying and seeing if how it's going, if people are liking this, having success with it. But I will basically just give you an overview. So this is a place you can connect, whether you're a landowner or land seeker, with people who are selling land or looking for land. So if you want to farm and you're looking for ag land to lease or buy, or if you're wanting to lease or buy and you're a landowner, this would be a good place to start. So there's access to affordable farmland can be one of the main barriers for both beginning and growing farmers. So it's our goal to kind of be the matchmakers here. And it's just designed to connect those seeking lands who have land. So again, this may change within the next year or so, but we're hoping mainly just to improve it. So highly encourage you to check that one out. So as I mentioned before, we are a new program. We are growing. We are working to improve and expand this program. So stay tuned for updates. Like I said, we're having an event. Eventually, we're hoping to have a newsletter that will kind of just be like a middleman between you and the website, maybe taking less time visiting the website, and we bring some resources to you. So that is the plan. But if you have any questions or you would even like to be on that newsletter mailing list, please email that frc@isda.idaho.gov. And then that way I'll be able to add you to our mailing list. So you will receive those newsletters. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time today. I hope everything was super clear and super helpful for you.
Thanks, Kaylee. Appreciate you taking the time to teach us more about how Farm and Ranch Center works, as well as the FarmLink and the ISD in general. Take just a second. If anybody has any questions for Kaylee, you can put them in the Q&A. Thanks, Colette, for putting the links to the resources that Kaylee mentioned into the chat. If you haven't seen those, be able to jump on over and visit some of those websites. I was writing notes to be able to follow up on those later myself. And looks like we just have some appreciation shared in the chat there. And and Chelsea, if you want to get your slides up and going, we'll transition over to talking about Idaho Preferred, and we'll turn the time to Chelsea Conlon.
Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca and Colette, for having us today. Kaylee did a great job kind of giving you guys an overview of some of our programs that we have. I'm just going to go a little bit more into detail on the marketing programs that we specifically have at ISDA, and then highlighting Idaho Preferred, which is our local domestic marketing program. So let me pull up my screen. All right, are you guys seeing it?
Yep.
Perfect. All righty. So I am here primarily representing Idaho Preferred today. That is actually not my program. As Rebecca mentioned, I am part of the international team, and I actually help with small scale education and domestic programs at ISDA, but we'll kind of briefly talk about all of those things, again, highlighting Idaho Preferred. So ISDA's Market Development Division's mission is to promote, connect, and educate Idaho agriculture producers with opportunities to help them grow their marketplace. That runs true for all of the programs that we run at our department. And then before we go into Idaho Preferred specifically, I help companies with small scale consulting and education for starting a business. So if you're a grower, Or if you're not a grower and you're wanting to get into the business of starting your own food business, maybe you have a recipe for a great salsa or a pickle that everybody loves. We have this guide that is housed on our website that we recently updated a few months ago with a bunch of new regulations. So we encourage you to go on our website and look at the electronic copy of this. Or if you want a physical copy, feel free to email me or our department, and we can definitely mail you a copy. This is a great resource that is also provided in Spanish for Spanish speakers. We also have a commercial kitchen and co-packer list. We are in the process of revamping our website, so it will be looking prettier, hopefully in the next couple months. But we also partner with Washington State and Oregon State to come up with a Pacific Northwest list that'll give you resources just in our region, because Idaho tends to be a little bit small for these kind of options. But if you're going, across the border, it's pretty close. So we partner with them. And then I also work on updating our grants and loans list. We try to identify opportunities for funding for companies that are at various stages of starting a food business or farm. So feel free to take a look at those. And if you have ever any questions about any of these, let me know. So going into Idaho Preferred, it is a pretty inclusive program, but you'll see that a bulk of our membership consists of producers and processors. So really those that are out there doing the actual farming or doing product creation. But we also have retailers that are members, farmers markets that are members, restaurants and supporting organizations. And we'll go into each of those things and talk about how we all kind of work together to help promote the Idaho message. The four main pillars of the Idaho Preferred program is direct marketing, retail, restaurants, and farm to school. Farm to school is probably where we're the least active. It primarily consists of education, but when there is a need, we do try to help fill the gaps of providing schools with local produce and things that they're running short on. And then direct retail and restaurants, I'll go into those on some future slides, so I will skip that for now. On the top left corner here, you will see our current Idaho Preferred logo. This is the way for a consumer and business owners to quickly identify whether they're purchasing an agriculturally connected product from Idaho. So if you're at a grocery store and you're picking up packages and trying to find out if they're local, look for this logo sticker on the back or on the front, and that'll kind of tell you if a bulk of the ingredients and the processing was done in Idaho. The link at the bottom here will kind of give you membership requirements if you do want to use the logo on your products or if you want to become a member to utilize some of our programs. There are, I wouldn't say super strict, but there are requirements that you have to meet. So feel free to go there. And depending on what you're producing or the type of member you would be, again, restaurants and retailers are included in that. It'll kind of list what you need to have. All right, so these stats are from our 2023 survey that we send out to our members. And I will just say that the top ranked benefit that we have gotten as feedback is the Idaho Preferred logo use. And our respondents have also reported that by having, these logos on their products and all of the services that we provide, including the promotion and social media and marketing, they've reported that they've seen 50% increase in sales as opposed to before they were members of the program. So it's really encouraging to see that we're really seeing membership benefit from becoming members with us. The Idaho Preferred's approach to marketing is omni-channel. So we'll touch on the digital side of promotion through email, social media, website, but we also do a lot of in-person promotions. either through tours, promotions at stores, signage, promotions at and signage at farmers markets, and then going to regional trade shows. This snapshot will kind of tell you which sites on our website or which pages on our website are the most visited. So that's kind of cool to see. We clock about 3 million views per year to the website. So we do see a lot of traffic come through here, and ultimately that benefits our producers and our members. If you do become a producer member, by default, we create a directory for each company. Here, company information and background will be listed. Contact information will be listed, but also where you can find products online and a link directly to your website, so you start seeing more traffic as well. This really is a shout out to all producers, retailers, and restaurants, because if a restaurant is serving or offering your products on their menu and we're directing consumers to go eat your products at those restaurants, we're ultimately seeing more traffic to the restaurant, and they'll by default start ordering more products from you to help service the needs. So really, it's kind of a full picture program, and it's really neat. The video there on the bottom right, we're also partnering with local videographers to come up with a producer story, to also provide additional marketing tools for you to use on your own websites or for when you are out and trying to promote your story as well. We do several guides that we partner with, like the nurseries, farmers markets, with agritourism, and CSAs. So take a look at that. 29% of our overall web traffic comes from these directories and consumers that are specifically looking for Idaho grown flowers or Idaho grown seed for planting during the spring. So these are really neat as well. And then we do a lot of seasonal promotions. So whether it's winter or summer, spring or fall, we're always doing something unique based on what is in season at the time. So for social media, I would say this is probably one of the strongest things that we do, and kind of newer to our program. But we do producer spotlights, again, seasonal campaigns. We do a recipe book, different events, and we provide educational content, both for consumers and for producers. And so that is really neat. We can be found on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube primarily, but I believe we also do Pinterest, and I think a little bit of LinkedIn. We also do our media campaign, and we have a heavy push for that during Idaho Preferred Month, which is, I believe, in October. And then from our surveys, our members have kind of shared with us that overall we've seen about $40 million in sales from our members. So I don't know, I feel like we're making a really, really big impact on the local domestic marketing and bringing local to the forefront of our consumers. We do email marketing both for members and for consumers. The content will slightly be different in each of these. But for example, if you're a member and we have upcoming activities coming up, or if we want to highlight some stats from a previous event, or if we know of relevant grants that are coming up, this is where you'll see a lot of that information come through. And then we also partner with a lot of media. So I believe last year was the first time we partnered with RFD TV on a national campaign, and we've garnered over 52 million views from unique homes, which was huge and a big reach for our producers. And we also do media partnerships with like the Farm Bureau, where we have an annual one pager that we feature some of our highlights and some members. The quarterly magazine reached 80,000 households, got mailed to, and then the producer reached 12,000 households. We do a lot of visual storytelling, whether that's from photography like these that you can use as assets on your own website and on our member pages, or through videography. I encourage you to take a look at these later on your own time because they can be a bit long, but it really kind of gives a nice picture of a farm and their backstory and really connects a consumer to really the love that these producers have for their crops that they grow and the products that they have. For our retail program, we offer a lot of signage and points of sale materials that you can go onto our website and order. Up to a certain amount of products you get for free just as part of your membership. And then if you want to order anything additional, there is a small fee, but never more than the small cost that it takes us to order these products. So we encourage, and you'll probably see when you go to like a Walmart, these bins full of Idaho onions, for example, or if you go to a nursery and you see these nursery tags, you'll know that they're Idaho Preferred members and these products were grown in Idaho. During Idaho Preferred Month, as I mentioned earlier, we partner with grocery stores to do a huge campaign. We do radio slots, and then we really encourage consumers to come and stop by while we're at the store and doing sampling, and do giveaways and really encourage sales of Idaho apples versus Washington apples when they come and visit while we're there. So I believe we partnered with 12 grocers last year in 65 different locations to do these. Each year, the stores that we have in rotation can change. But down here, you'll see that we're at Albertsons, we're at Walmart, we're at the Boise Co-op, and even like Ridley's and Stokes on the other side of the state. So we do a lot of stuff and promote the different things that we have in the different regions of Idaho. We do a trade shows, primarily regional for Idaho Preferred. So the Associated Food Store trade show, that is happening actually right now in Salt Lake City. We've got 10 Idaho Preferred members that are there with us under our umbrella and exhibiting their products. We also do the Good Food Foundation Portland Mercantile in Oregon. That is in April as well. That's next month. Those are small scale trade shows, but give our companies an opportunity to expand regionally in the border states of Idaho. So these are really good, next step when you're ready to go outside of Idaho. On a larger scale, once a company is ready to tap into a larger market, we have national domestic trade shows. For example, the Fancy Food Show that I would organize and I help companies exhibit at. A lot of this stuff that I work on is also grant funded, so it's cost effective for those that are a little bit scary to get into larger scale projects. We also do export education. And with that, we host a lot of activities from inbound and outbound missions. So where we bring buyers locally here to meet with our producers, but also when we take producers overseas to meet with buyers, large scale international trade shows, and then in-market promotions that often don't require any travel, but you ship samples and then we come up with something in market for you. For example, the 2 videos on the left, I had the privilege of working with our local producers to send over ingredients, and we prepared lunch boxes using U.S. products. So we do cool things like that. Idaho also employs 3 full-time international trade offices in China, Mexico, and in Taiwan that cover Southeast Asia. So those are a great resource for companies that are, wanting to just learn more about how to export, or even if it makes sense for them. And all of these are free, usually free of charge or low cost to our companies. For our restaurant promotion, we do an annual Farmer Chef Collaborative where we recruit so many chefs from throughout the state. We take them to different farms to kind of learn about where their products are coming from. And then we do a small scale mini trade show where we have a bunch of producers lined up, and then chefs can go around and taste the different products and usually make on the spot orders for companies to start immediately using into their establishments. And then we also have a guide on our website that'll indicate, our member restaurants that are sourcing Idaho products and where they're coming from. So this is a great connection piece as well. In the winter time, I mentioned we do seasonal promotions. We do a holiday gift box. In 2023, we sold 560 boxes. I believe the year before we were upwards of like in the 700 range. But we have the opportunity to feature multiple producers in the form of different boxes. And last year we shipped to 33 states in the US and also Canada. So it's a great way to get a larger footprint on the US, and hopefully for companies that are ready to kind of start expanding outside of the borders. This is kind of our introduction for those that have some kind of tie to Idaho and are interested in Idaho products. And this kind of gets the name and the word out. We also do, I think last year was the first time we did a holiday gift guide. So for those producers that didn't make the gift box, because it is a slightly competitive process, we still provided a holiday gift guide that included 100 producers where we still showcase and highlight the products that they have and encourage companies that are receiving this box to also take a look at some other Idaho producers. And then this will kind of show you how many events that we're actually involved in throughout the year for Idaho Preferred. There's a lot of stuff on there. So if any of these, are of interest to you, again, reach out if you're not already an Idaho Preferred member. Consider becoming a member if you're eligible, and then you can take advantage of all these different programs that we are involved in. New also to the program, we've started to do a producer education learning lab. These are easily digestible, I believe 2 to 5 minute videos that help producers with marketing, anywhere from, what type of photography to take, or how to get listed on Amazon. So take a look. There's 24 different educational lab sessions that we have on there. And again, those are free for our members to access to help them with their digital marketing strategies. And then we are also not tied to Idaho Preferred, but also partnering with the ISDA to do a producer learning lab in series that kind of helps not necessarily beginning farmers, but those that are wanting to know more about how to get an organic certification. We'll get real life examples from companies that have already done this and have gone through the process. And then we'll link on there as well. If it's organics and you have to go through ISDA's organic division, then this will kind of route you to like the process and how to do it, again, with that real life example from our producer or our processor that has already gone through the process. And then also new to Idaho Preferred, we have a Homegrown by Heroes program. We do like to highlight our veteran farmers. And so we have partnered with the Farmer Veteran Coalition to come up with a brand new logo that kind of highlights the best of both worlds, our program and theirs. You do have to be a member of both programs to be able to use this logo. So please reach out to the Farmer Veteran Coalition if you would like more information about specifics on joining their membership. But if you do decide to kind of forego the merged logo, you can still be an Idaho Preferred member, stick our stuff on your stuff. And we still do highlights for our veterans. I think on the individual profiles that we do, we list that kind of information, so it's highlighted there. Again, Erica is our resident Idaho preferred manager. She's out this week, so I am covering for her. But if you have any questions about the program, want to learn more, or are considering becoming a member, please reach out to her. And then if you are looking at any of those resources about starting a business, grants and resources, or trying to find a co-packer or a commercial kitchen, please feel free to reach out to me. You could reach out to either of us at any time. And we'll also direct you to the right place if you've reached somebody else. So that is our marketing programs in a nutshell. And I know that that was a lot. So again, feel free to reach out if you have any other questions after this.
Thank you, Chelsea. I thought of a question, and I apologize if you covered this and I didn't catch it. What's the investment to our farmers and producers to join the Idaho Preferred programs? Is it a annual membership? Is it how does that structure work?
Yeah, so it is an annual membership. Depending on if you are a producer, retailer, or a restaurant, there are different fees. So I encourage you to go to the website and take a look at that again, first for if you qualify for the program, and then for your individual fee structure.
Great, thank you. Have any questions from our participants? I encourage you to put them in the Q&A box. There isn't any yet right now. Do we have any questions from our fellow panelists and hosts today?
I have a question about whether or not any of your materials are available in Spanish, or you're looking at developing a Spanish version.
Yeah, so the Starting a Craft Food Business in Idaho manual is fully translated to Spanish, and then a lot of our international material is. I don't think the rest of our domestic material is, though, in Spanish, but if we do have a need from the community, or if somebody requests it, we can easily get that translated, because we've got Spanish staff on our international team. And then again, we've got an office full-time in Mexico City, so they'd be happy to translate for us.
Great, thank you. One other question about Idaho Preferred. When you move into the processed products, what is the percentage of ingredients that needs to be grown in Idaho to be able to have the Idaho Preferred label?
Yeah, I believe it's 25% Idaho sourced product and then processed in Idaho.
Okay, great.
All right, I don't see any other questions coming in. We want to again thank our presenters today, Kaylee Woods with the Farm and Ranch Center, and Chelsea Conlon representing Idaho Preferred for us today, Marketing Division with the Idaho State Department of Agriculture. This has been a really helpful webinar for me, even as an extension professional, to be able to point people to you for the right reasons and getting to know more about you. I'm glad that this resource will live online for a while for those who missed it today. So thank you so much. We hope that those who are in need of your resources can contact you and get the help they need. Colette, I'll turn it back to you.
Great, thank you. Thanks to our participants today. We hope that you will take just a couple minutes to give us your feedback about this webinar. You can use your smartphone, scan this QR code. Literally, this is a 2-minute feedback form. Also, when this webinar closes, you'll have an automatic link that is going to come up in your website browser, so you could very conveniently take it there. If you've missed both these chances, you'll also receive an email tomorrow that tells you how to connect to the slide decks from this webinar, the recording, and the different links that we shared in the chat. And of course, an opportunity to give us your feedback. Your feedback really helps us identify what topics we will focus on in our 2025 webinar series. So this concludes this year's webinar series. Thank you again for participating, and we hope to see you in another Cultivating Success course soon. Thanks again to our presenters from ISDA and to ISDA for the amazing resources and support that they provide to Idaho's small farms and ranches.
Thank you.